Hey there guys, it is Vizonex, and today I wanted to bring you guys another great tutorial, and this will be about how to extern C++ code into Cython, and I will also go over something extra and teach you guys how to write some C++ code. And let's get started with the tutorial. So now I have the tutorial open, and we can start writing our C++ code. So unlike in Python, where we use import, we instead use what is called include. And in this example, we're going to say that we want to include stdlib.h. And then we need to also include, oh, there it goes. It takes a while to load. We need to include ctime.h. I believe that's what it is. Or I think it's just ctime. Yeah, it's just ctime. Okay, good. So let us write a struct. And in my example, I'm going to make a struct that's called an NPC. And let's make sure we have those quotes there. So normally, like in Python, we would say like class, NPC, and this. But in C++, we actually have to use quotes around our objects. So that's something to keep in mind. And fun fact, by the way, classes in CPython are just structs and, functions. So pretty neat. So anyways, let's get back to our NPC. Some of the variables that we might want to add to this NPC are going to be the name of the NPC. So we can also include string, but in this example, I'll just say that it's characters. So here's our character, and then okay, so back to what we were doing. So we have an NPC, and we can give the NPC a name. And then we can also make sure I also put this quote thing right here. But we could specify we want a character that's an array of characters, that's a name. And then we can specify that the NPC must have an ID number. And then maybe we want to add like food. Maybe the NPC has food that's holding on to, so we can specify another character and then we can say food. So here's our NPC or non-player character. And why did I include these libraries? Well, because we are going to be playing around with randomness. So up here, I'm going to create some static things. And in this case, we're going to need static characters, and we're going to say this is food. And I'll use uppercase for this. And it's going to be a constant character. Constant characters. So I need to do this. And then here we go. And unlike how we would actually, pre-set up a list, we need to use these dictionary curly brackets. And then we need to do this. So bananas. We can have apples. We can have grapes. Well, these are all fruits. Let's include wheat. Maybe our NPC can have wheat. So then there we go. There's our, assortment of food. And I'll just do that. Now specifying that it's static helps, preload all these, words, if you will. So now what we're going to do is we're going to randomly, start generating stuff. So in a C++ function, unlike how you would normally write it, we're going to, let me type define this actually. So that way it's a lot easier. So that way I don't have to write out struct every time. So NPC, and we're going to say generate. And then we're going to say character name, because we're going to give it the name in Cython. So we're going to generate the character. It's going to be given a name, and it's going to have an ID number, and it's going to have food. Hopefully. Sometimes maybe we may not want to let the NPC have food. So there we go. I'll change that to 5 because there's going to be 5 things in here. So there we go. Now we have this set up. We can then create a randomness. So the way we create randomness is we need to call srand, otherwise we're going to get the same seed every time. So we need an unsigned integer, and I'm going to put down unsigned. And now I'm going to say time in here, since that's how normally randomness works. And then we're going to specify hold on, give me a minute. I forgot literally how to do this part. I actually just need to apply null. So let me just put null into this. There we go. Otherwise known as 0. It's just a macro. So there we go. We have now created our randomness. So now we can call the rand function, and we can do the modulo operator of 5 to then get the call that we need. So let me say that the modulo operator of 5, so we aren't just we aren't generating random numbers to call our food. And here we go. So then let's also make sure that we typecast our NPC to a lowercase version of NPC to then send everything to. NPC.food will be this, and then NPC.id. We'll make that ID just rand, since it'll just generate us an integer. And then I forgot the food. There we go. Oh, you make this constant. Okay. Or should I say non-constant? There we go. That fixes it. Okay. So now that we did that, we can now move on to generating the name. Just equal to name. And then there we go. We have created our struct, so we can return our NPC. And there we go. We have successfully made our generate function. And now I'm going to, I think I'm going to use RapidJSON for this. So, let me teach you guys how to use RapidJSON as well. I think this will be pretty interesting for us to understand. So I'll get RapidJSON in here and we'll finish this up. and then we'll move on to learning how to extern our code. So I already have this library on hand, but just in case you don't, you can always go to this link in the description. And I will be using this to demonstrate, taking our NPC and then just generating that into a JSON format. And then port that over to Cython and get what we need to mess around with our NPC. Okay, so I now have the library copied to this particular spot right here. And now we can, create a JSON writer for our stuff. So let me include RapidJSON. There we go. Sorry about all that. Just a bunch of technical difficulties on my end. I'm not understanding the way the folders were set up. But here we go. Now I have it. And we need to also include the writer. So let me just write that in really fast. And the, there we go, string buffer.h. Okay, so I have everything I need now. So we are good to go. We can sort of continue. So now what I can do is I can, generate a string in this example. So, you know what? I don't think we need to include a string, since we'll just immediately, convert everything over to bytes. So that will allow us to be a little bit faster at this. But here I'm going to use a pointer so that the JSON isn't overwritten or causes problems. Because RapidJSON is known to cause problems if you don't allocate some of it on the heap. Particularly the string buffer and writer, which is pretty common. So let's do this. This is what we'll return is a character, or no, an array of characters. And we'll call this create, and then NPC. And then inside of here, we'll specify our writer. And we'll use, there we go. And I'll just copy and paste this. But the reason why I'm not using its namespace is so that way, if you have another library that has the same name, they aren't mixed together and cause compile issues. So that is part of the reason why I do not use using namespace std. So back to the tutorial. Let's create our buffer. And I'm going to use a pointer. Because like I said before, I do not want the variables to overwrite. Okay, so I fixed this up. And one of the things you might want to take away from this is that the reason why I put a pointer right here is that is the only way I can really, send it off to the writer and not have it overwrite during compile time when the function runs. So now we can just use our writer normally. And we're going to say writer.startObject. And then writer.key. And this key for the NPC will be specifically name. I'm going to go in opposite order with these. And then writer.string. And inside of here, we will put in npc.name. Alright, so we got our first key and object in. We'll need to do this several times. So writer.key. And in this key, I'm going to put down that I want the ID number. And then to set that one up, we'll need to say writer.uppercase I. So an integer, we want to add an integer. Let me make sure I point this because it's a pointer. And inside of this integer, we are going to not put quotes. We're going to put down just npc.id. And then I'm going to put in another writer, and we're going to say that we want another key called food. Don't worry, we're almost done. And now I'm going to put down string, and we're going to say npc.food. And now that all of that has been written, we need to close this. So writer.endObject. And now we can return with s.getString. And that should allow us to get our string back and be able to get our stuff back. I think it's because I'm using a regular character. Yep. So there we go. Got all this in. And now we can create our PYXD file. I almost said PYD file, but I just remembered that's what we are going to compile to. So we got all this, and that's good. I'm going to open this up to sort of help me out with external all this stuff in. And we are now going to write a PXD file called maybe not npc.pxd because this will overwrite this, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to say that this is npc.lib. That'll prevent this file from being overwritten. And then we can do pxd, but maybe I can, let's talk about pxd. It's fine. npc c++.pxd. Here we go. I'll do the same setup as before, like in my last several videos. And distutils language, we're going to use C++. And then to extern, or should I say include or import our C++ file, what we need to do is we need to write down cdef extern from, and then we need to extern npc lib.c++. And then here we go. We've now successfully basically externed our C++ file. And we can now, tell it what we want. And another, little type thing I can do too is just cdef and then do this. So I don't have to write it in multiple times. Wait, we're not using quotes here. There we go. In Cython, we do not need to use quotes. Or should I say curly brackets. So now I can just go in and, copy this off. Some of it. But let me just, write this all in. So ctype define struct npc. Or actually, we can do it outside of cdef. Just remembered. Here we go. And inside of here, I'll put down npc generate and then character. And basically what we're doing here is we're making it so that we don't have to repeat having to write cdef a ton. So that's why I did that. But anyways, let us resume with writing down our NPC. And I can literally just say the same things as I did before. Name, ID, and food. And now we can specify that we want to generate the characters and that we want to, get our other things that we want to, create. And I'll just say right here, create JSON. That'll work for this tutorial. Create JSON. Now, we can now import this to, we want to import this to, this is like, so PXDs, they act sort of like header files, and the way header files work are they help with importing stuff and also including stuff. So header files are actually pretty important. But anyways, back to, let's take our newly made NPC C++ library. I'll copy this off. So I don't have to write it again. And I'll say npc.pyx. And then we'll paste that in. We don't need this anymore. But we could, just use this for reference in case. Take that out, put this in, plug this in. And this is because Cython doesn't have Pylance. So I need to make sure that I remember, all of this. Here, let me do this really fast too. Sorry about all the editing. Here we go. Okay. Now we can actually go ahead and import this. So let me say from npclib cimport npc here we go, npc C++, and now oh wait, it's not npc lib, it's actually just npc C++, and then npc we have generate, and we can have create JSON. And now we can specify cpdef bytes, and we want to create inside of here. So py create. This will be done in Python. Py create NPC. Or I'll just say create NPC, that's fine. So create our non-player character. Take all this stuff that we did before, but now put it all together. So we'll have name as bytes, then convert it over. Whoops. Oopsie daisy. There we go. We'll now need to do the conversion. So we take what we have before over here, and we sort of put it together. So let me now cdef npc, and then or you know what we could do too? We don't have to do all that, because we could just literally type in generate and create JSON, so that saves us a step. Nice. Okay, create JSON, and inside of that we'll say generate. And I'll typecast character to bytes, so name, and then we'll retypecast that back into bytes and return it. Alright, so now we've done that, we can now Cythonize this, and it should compile. And just in case, let me write a stub file. And we'll give it a name. Our return type is bytes. There we go. We don't need doc strings or any of that right now. But this is good. This will at least help me remember what we're putting in, and it will prevent errors from being, raised, or should I say yellow underlines. So, yeah, let's compile this. Cythonize -i-a. So -i-a, we can either decide we want, HTML for this, but I think we already know what we're doing, so let's just do that. Just in place, and then npc.pyx. And we have an error. Not assigned type and NPC to care. Oh, I see what's missing. Okay. It's actually just this. Let me fix this. Got it. Okay. Okay. Now I can fix this. And this should now compile correctly. There we go. Whew. Got that through. Alright. So now we have our and like I said before, it did create another file, so I'm glad I told you guys that you should always, make sure that the file names are not the same, otherwise they will be overwritten by this. But yeah. Now let's actually, go ahead and test all this out. Inside of test.py, and let me just get rid of this and move it over here. Let's close this out too. We don't need that anymore. Import NPC, or no, from NPC. Import create NPC. And we'll call him Vizonex. And if I'm right, this should compile. And there we go. Anyways, that is it for my look at extending C++ code over to Cython. If you like this tutorial, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I know I did have trouble, with some of this. I mean, all my tutorials are unscripted, if you didn't know. But anyways, that is it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you like this type of content, please let me know down in the comments. I love to hear back from you. And I will see you all in the next video.